In this episode of Denoise, we're going to talk about a bunch of new AI tool updates that should be on your radar.
We'll talk about Pikadditions from Pika Labs, Flora, and Alibaba's new model.
Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the Denoise podcast. I'm Joey Dowd.
I'm Addy. Hey, man.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
So when this is coming out, we should be kind of talking about like, hey, did you see the Oscars?
Yeah. Did you see the Oscars?
Did you see the Oscars? Yeah. So due to our schedules, we're pre-recording this the week before the Oscars. So the Oscars have still not happened yet as we're recording this. So if you're wondering why we're not talking about the Oscars, or if some other crazy AI update happened in the last like 5 days and why we're not talking about it, that's why, because it's still February for us when we're talking about this.
Rest assured, we'll definitely be talking about the Oscars the next time we record, because I'm sure there'll be some upsets.
Yeah, and some recaps to talk about. But yeah, in this episode, we're trying to do a grab bag of interesting AI tool updates that have been on our radar that we kind of just want to dive into. And if you're not aware of them, I think they're really interesting and useful things to just at least be aware of, and kind of crazy how fast and how good some things are coming.
Yep.
So first one, it's two features that have been dropping from Pika Labs. And I feel like sometimes Pika gets forgotten about a little bit, and then they drop some like kind of crazy new update. And I was like, oh man, that's wild.
That's pretty good.
So there's two, they kind of go hand in hand. One is called Pikaswap and one is Pikadditions. And so Pikaswap is upload a video and you can either text prompt it or give it an image reference and be like, hey, I want to swap this out with something else. And you can actually do in painting. So I did this one test with a previous podcast episode and had it replace you with a picture of a robot.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what Wonder Dynamics had, right?
A bit, yeah. Wonder Dynamics definitely is more geared for professional pipelines, because they not only track and replace, but then they'll give you the spline, they'll give you the animation data. This is just... You give it a video, you get back a video, you take it or leave it.
This is just for like fun social media content, user-generated content.
For right now. And that is something that's interesting with Pika, because I remember when they first came out and they were sort of talking about how, like, I had a quote, this is one of the first articles we did on VP Land. We're not trying to build a product for film production. What we're trying to do is something more for everyday consumers. That was from Technicolor.
I mean, that's where the money is, right?
A bit, I mean, to get a $10 to $20 a month subscription for sure.
Times 100,000.
But seeing stuff like this, I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, because you're getting kind of close there.
I just want to give a quick shout out to John Finger, who is somebody really talented in the AI community, posts a lot on LinkedIn. I met him once at a meeting. Really nice guy. He's been putting out some Pikadditions videos that are just...
He's always testing and
blowing my mind.
Yeah, and pushing the limits with these, with Kling, with like every AI tool out there, Runway. He'll like, it's just shots of him walking around, either his backyard or him walking around like Venice or somewhere, and I've seen what he could add in.
Yeah, so is that where he's at?
I've seen beach stuff, and I've like, it looks like Venice.
Yeah, he's in LA for sure.
Yeah.
So he posted this one video where there is a shot transition, and I think the way he does it is he just flips his iPhone back and forth. And then he has a Roman soldier with a spear walking behind him, obviously synthetic. And then he reaches out and the soldier gives him the spear and he grabs it.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's like a digital object handoff.
What was his original thing? Was he holding something originally?
No idea how he did it. My guess is that he just had a hand gesture and had to prompt...
Yeah, or maybe he was holding a stick and he had to replace the stick with a sword. Yeah,
could be.
It's been freakishly accurate in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got, even in the full video. So in the one video with the swap, I had it replace you with a robot.
Right.
And the one thing that was freakishly good was the clip I gave it had some angle cutting in. I didn't keep it the same shot. It had angle cutting. And so it figured out the 3D geography of the space. And so from the wide shot, the robot looked a little distorted here, but then it cut to like this camera and it had the robot arm partially in frame, which would be what you expect. And then it cut to your camera. And it was like a full shot of the robot.
It's perfect perspective.
And it was like the angle, it was like, wow. Like if you could give this, you know, right now we're always limited on like 5-second, 10-second clips, but like once you could be like, give it a whole edit of like of a human
with
and
all
like,
the cuts.
Replace the, you know, you did the edit, kind of like Planet of the Apes. You did the edit with the human actor. Or replace it with this other character and honor the performance like an Act 1.
Is like the hardest one because we have a 3-camera setup here. So every time you have a cut, if you're not aware of what the 3D geometry is, how do you maintain continuity? And it did it.
No, I mean, it's not like even though I inpainted you to replace it on my video, it still like warped my face a bit and distorted it. So you still get that like squishy, soft AI edge stuff. But for version 1,
yeah, you can matte that out. Like in post, you can matte out.
Yeah, you can still, a lot of the stuff you could always clean it up.
Yeah. The other thing I was really impressed by, and if you can play back the video of the octopus walking across.
So that's Pikadditions. And so that's their other feature, which is basically take a shot, give it another image of another object or something.
Yeah.
And then tell it what you want it to do. And then it just adds it in the scene while honoring the geography in the 3D space.
I mean, so much of VFX is just that.
Yeah. This shot, I gave it a shot of a squid and I said crawl across the table, and it did a pretty decent shot of it crawling across the table. And again, this also had an angle switching, and it did a pretty decent job for the few frames of the other angle of correctly matching the size and perspective of where the squid would be. If you're doing this in VFX.
Oh boy. Okay.
Like manually.
So first of all, the thing that makes it easy in VFX is it's a static camera. So you're not tracking a moving camera. Okay, fine. So now you have to get I think it was an octopus. So you have to animate 8 legs of an octopus and animate it convincingly enough so the user feels like it's an octopus. So animating that takes maybe a few days, a good enough animator. And then you have to create an artificial 3D table. So the octopus has floor registration as it's crawling across this table, but this 3D table won't be visible in the render. So it's just a placeholder. And then you have to perspective match your 3D camera to your live action camera. You probably do that by eye, the focal length of this camera. So, okay, so that's that. Finally, you have to render the octopus as its own thing on an alpha channel. Bring that into something like Nuke, color match it, make sure the image-based lighting matches that of your actual lights. And then you have it. All in all, I think 2 weeks is a very conservative estimate for something like this for one artist to do, if an artist can do all those steps by themselves. And how long did it take you?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yikes.
I would say it is not at the level of an artist right now,
Yeah.
but this is version 1.
But not every artist is at that level. There are, junior artists, university students that are at this level. And for that, this is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pikadditions is a peek into what VFX with AI looks like, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like, is this going to be the kind of future? It's like we got our shot and it's like we just got our image of our thing. Maybe at some point too, I feel like this year is gonna be a big year for image to 3D or just other type of generative 3D. So maybe even have something where it's like a little bit more detailed, where it's like, okay, this is what the full 3D object of my or model of my thing looks like. Yeah, make it do this thing.
And again, like in a professional setting, obviously this is not good enough, right, to be put onto a movie. But if you have more controls, let's say you can input your own octopus in there and then have AI animate that across a table, and then you have control over the compositing. Would this replace people's jobs, or would it just allow VFX studios to just do exponentially more work?
I think this ties into what we talked about
on the Technicolor episode.
Technicolor, 2 episodes ago. Yes, I think it's going to replace like the huge, massive studios and teams where you'd have to throw a bunch of people at a problem. Yeah, but it's going to empower smaller, more nimble teams. It's just a crappy transition disruption period right now where the big studios and the staff jobs are disappearing right now, but more opportunity to do better things with smaller teams. Yeah. And it's just like, you got to get on top of this technology and figure it out so like you can take advantage of it.
I also think just having learned a little bit of computer graphics, traditional computer graphics work, like I've done some animation, I've done some compositing in Nuke, and those crafts are so hard to initially learn and then master. Yeah. It takes years. Whereas I think somebody that is using an AI-based tool will have a much easier time mastering it. It's not text to prompt. There is going to be...
And it's like, are you going to still need the high senior level, someone who does know that to like get in there? Are there going to be top level projects? I feel like this is kind of similar with coding too, where it's like coding is getting more and more replaced or augmented, where you could just tell it the thing what you want and it'll start coding it. But if you don't know the fundamentals, you don't know how to code, it could still break. You still need to know how to get in there to make it better. If you're doing large projects, like it's a limit right now.
So you're going to need an architect level, like senior architect level person, or in this case, a VP soup or several VP soups. And then a lot of the tedious work will be junior artists using AI-based tools. The part that's not clear to me yet is how the traditional CG and the AI toolsets converge and merge.
It's lacking the tweaking.
Yes.
Now too. It's like, and I think that's what Wonder Dynamics was trying to build, where it's like, take this example of the Pika Labs, Pikadditions. Yeah. And it gets you to that first step, and it's like, yeah, it'll look all right,
But now
good
what?
for rough cut. But we're giving you the skeleton animation. We're giving you all of these files so that you can take it into your traditional pipeline software,
Right.
and tweak it.
Yeah.
And you're not stuck with, because that's some of the problems with AI now, where you're like, you spin the slot wheel, you get what you get, and then you can either spin it again, and maybe you get better, maybe you get different, but you can't, like, I can't take this octopus animation and be like, oh, well, it went here and then went back. Well, maybe I just want it to go here and then, jump on my face or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'd have to regenerate it, and maybe I'll get it, maybe not. So
And it's great for like a LinkedIn post, but for an actual show, you need control.
Exactly. I feel like you still always have to keep in mind, people see this stuff and it's always like, well, it has all these issues too. And it's like, yeah, you can never judge these things by like, it's cool what we see right now, but you got to think like the 2-minute paper guy is always like, it's not about what the paper says right now. It's about the paper 2 papers from now.
Yeah.
Of like, how fast have we gotten to this point, and like how fast things are changing.
Exactly. And the Wonder Dynamics acquisition by Autodesk is so brilliant, because Autodesk is a company that's just building professional tools for the highest level artists. And so if anybody can figure out how to turn the power of Wonder Dynamics into a controllable tool, it's them.
Yeah. All right. Other new tool that just popped up on my radar this week. Well, by this week, I mean end of February. Flora. They are building, they're calling it an intelligent canvas. So it's basically a one-stop shop for a lot of the main AI models, but with a node-based build your own workflow. And it seems to be a bit of a middle ground of, you've kind of want to do some more kind of creative stuff with AI that you can't really do with a single tool. You want to connect a variety of tools, but you're not as technically inclined to use something that's complex like Comfy UI, which is a very powerful node-based tool.
Yeah.
But it's got
it's daunting
technical learning curve, and you have to run it on your own PC, or there's some cloud-based versions.
Also,
but
there's
mostly
no
a PC
help.
version.
Like if you can't figure out the nodes in Comfy UI, who do you call?
You go to Perplexity and you start asking it questions. You start asking AI questions. It's an open source. You're kind of just at the whim of YouTube videos and figuring stuff out yourself.
If you're able to put up Flora on the screen here, I mean, it looks like a really fancy version of Comfy UI with a UX UI that is more catered for a prosumer.
Yeah, like you kind of, they had some demo workflows, and one that was interesting. I mean, it's not the extensive custom models and stuff that you're going to be able to find and build with Comfy UI.
Yeah.
It pulls a lot of, basically it's a bunch of API connectors. So like any big platform out there that has API connection options available. So basically anything text, video, or image related, and you can connect them. So they had one interesting example of taking like a hand-drawn storyboard that you give the image to, and then there's like a ChatGPT node that analyzes the image and then turns it into a shot list. And then there's another node that sends it to another ChatGPT agent.
Okay.
And then again, this sort of tying into the agentic AI of connecting all of the little AI individual agents to do something more powerful.
Yep.
Another one that turns each shot into a text prompt, and then takes that text prompt and then runs it through Flux and generates an image. And so you basically kind of turn a hand-drawn storyboard into a raw photo image storyboard of all your shots.
It's powerful. And I think we can all agree that all of the future AI suites will have agnostic things built into it, so that you don't have to be loyal to Flux or Midjourney or whatever. You can switch between the two depending on the project. Because like we talked about, every one of these generation tools has a specialty, is good at something, is bad at something, and so on.
Yeah. And if you can sort of, when you go down the route of like trying all the tools, you're paying for a bunch of subscriptions, and you're doing a lot of copy pasting, or like, let me generate an image in one thing, save the image, and then let me upload it to like,
it's clunky.
Runway Cling, and just see who does the better output. I think this is, going to be the future of like centralized one spot. I don't know if it's going to be Flora. I don't know if other, more established like existing tools will bring it in. But like the more you can kind of centralize and not have to like bounce around in between different apps, the better and faster it's going to be to create.
Yeah. I mean, I have an analogy for you. I always do. If Comfy UI is your like pro tool, like that's the Venice 2, then this is like your Blackmagic. It still retains some of that functionality, but it is really looking out at a much bigger demographic.
And a nice, user-friendly, clean interface.
Exactly.
Blackmagic has a very nice menu system.
That's it.
Yeah, so this just came out this week, so I'm going to be messing around with it a bit, but it seems interesting, and a good middle ground where not at the complicated Comfy UI level, but, you're beyond like wanting to have to copy and paste or try to figure stuff out with a single tool.
Yeah, I haven't taken it for a spin yet, but from their website, like the stuff that they're showing, I was like, oh yeah, that's totally useful.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, you want a secondary level of control after your first prompt generation.
I saw one other sample model too. I still got to dig into what exactly it's doing, but it seemed like it took like 6 images and it merged them all into a single video. And I don't know if it was automatically compiling like a generated video, but take like first frame, last frame, and then use the first frame to like make the next video. So basically it was like a kind of morphing between like 6 different images in like a 10-second video.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was like first frame, 6 middle frames, last frame.
Yeah, that's very
which
cool.
is another kind of interesting potential with this workflow.
Yeah, I think a lot of the video generation tools now support first frame, middle frame, last frame.
Yeah. Runway does. And
yeah.
They said, the big use case was like animation. That was something they wanted to get after to help speed up animation.
Yeah, we're getting back into the world of in-betweeners.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Like from cell drawing?
Yeah,
and
like the Walt Disney days.
Yeah.
So the really legit senior level animators don't have time to animate every single shade, every single paper. So they'll just hit some key poses and say, okay, for for Snow White, this. And then the junior animators come in and they just fill all of those little frames up. So the AI is now in-betweening.
Yeah, now it's AI. I mean, I guess before it was you make keyframes and then the computer figures out what the frame should be in between that. Now it's...
Yeah, interpolating. Yeah.
All right, other update. So Alibaba came out with an updated video model that is free, open source. It's called Wan2.1. And it's sort of kind of being drawn with comparisons to Sora, but this is free. Open source, you could run it on ComfyUI, run it on your local computer, and text to video or image to video, or I believe there's video to video. I'd have to double check on that one.
How's the quality?
Like, I'd say it's not like the physics and some of the demos I had seen from some people of like with text prompts, with some like kind of crazy physics, like a cat jumping off a diving board, were pretty good. Like better than Sora in some cases, or even I would say it's maybe not up to VO2, which was the Google one that's sort of still.
That feels like the best one at the moment, doesn't it?
And actually this was a tip, or sort of a tip-ish, but VO2 I'm still waitlisted through Google, and I don't know, I only know a handful of people that maybe have access, but
FreePic is kind of like Flora, where you can adjust what model you want to generate with.
I don't know if they have some exclusive deal. You can access VO2 through FreePic. Only on their like super premium plan, but if you want to pay and mess around with it, you can access VO2 through them right now. Yeah. I did see something though. I think it was like $2 a generation.
Whoa.
Or the pricing came down to that. And it was like thinking like, you got a bad generation. Like that's an expensive slot machine.
Yeah. What about our guy Dylan Lur when he automates 100 different generations? Yeah, that's like $200 each time.
Now we're getting back to real film production costs. So Wan2.1. The physics were interesting. It's open source. It's free. Another kind of Chinese model. Just throwing it out there, and it's like making it. Faster, cheaper, free. I mean, quality-wise, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's not is good. I wouldn't say it was like, oh, wow, this is like a...
Out of all the Chinese models, would you say Minimax is probably the best one? Or Kling, maybe?
I think probably Kling. Yeah. From the stuff I've tested and used, I usually get better stuff with Kling, but Kling's pricey and takes a while to generate anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, it can be bad, right? Having another model that's free just as a test bed for people to learn on and stuff. Yeah.
And also you could run it locally and to like start generating stuff on your own computer, especially if you're looking to just kind of brainstorm or storyboard stuff. Or
let me go melt my GPU right now and run it locally. Okay, I'll do that.
All right, other tool. So this one, it's not new-ish, but I think it's interesting. I want to put it on people's radar. And when we were talking about the Rob Legato hackathon that I was filming at, I was interviewing him, and then afterwards we were all just kind of talking about like AI tools and what people are using. And so he uses Midjourney, and then I was like, oh, hey, do you use mood boards? And then he was like, no, what's that? Yeah. And so are you familiar with Midjourney with style references?
Yeah, a little bit. Please describe it to me.
So it's another way. So basically Midjourney, you can give it a text prompt, text to image, that's what it's like known for. But a lot of the really powerful Midjourney users that get really kind of very like specific, consistent styles and really get what they're like after, they don't really do elaborate text prompts anymore. They use style reference codes. And so it's a code you add to your prompt that is, I don't fully remember how you make the style reference, but it's basically a very distinct look. It's a code. You can kind of go on Twitter and there's like a bunch of people posting like images from a code. And it's like, these are the style reference codes I use. You can stack multiple codes together. Right. And so the really kind of clever creators like simple prompts with like, a combo of their kind of secret sauce of like different style reference codes.
That's brilliant.
So that's, you sort of had to know what the code was, or I think maybe there was a way to, well, anyway, the mood board way is sort of a way to train it. So mood boards is you can make a mood board and then you can just give it all of the images that you like of your reference images.
Wow.
And you could potentially, like I'm saying in this case, this is a previs brainstorming case. I'm not advocating stealing anyone's style, but you could go on like Shot Deck or one of these, or you grab stills from existing things, train it with a style. People grab mood boards all the time.
If we
I'm not saying make a film with
AI
this.
hasn't pissed off the artist community enough, like
piss you off more. But
we're getting to such a sensitive area.
To steal anything. Look, there's enough. Look, I don't have to tell anyone anything. They already know. If someone wants to like use someone's existing style, they're going to post stuff. How many like Star Wars, Batman rip-off things have I seen online?
For me, the style that is so difficult to replicate and the one that's the most sought after is Spider-Verse in the animation world. The team did such a good job of taking traditional, like what you would say Pixar style animated film, just completely shattering it. So Spider-Verse looks like a comic book. You know, it has the cell shade separation. It has 12 frames per second animation, choppy. The characters always hit the right poses and hang on them for a second before going. Like, it's beautiful to look at. I don't know if you can copy the temporal style, but certainly you can copy the
frames,
the visual language. Yeah.
So for inspiration or research, or don't use any existing frames, and if you have your own photo collection or whatever, mood boards, you give it the images, and then it creates a new style reference code based on your images. You're basically training a style reference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think under the hood, you're training a LoRa.
Yeah.
And then the hex code or whatever is referencing that LoRa.
And so then you use that in your prompts, and then you get images with this look that you're after, which is good for mood boarding, storyboarding, previs stuff.
Going back to Flora, I think maybe there should be a feature like that built into Flora.
Yeah, and maybe there is or will be. But yeah, I mean, that seems like the next logical step of like having a way to train your own LoRa, bring it, I mean, it's in the name. So if it's not there, it's got to be.
And like the last year or two, I think the obsession was with just generating quality stuff. And now it feels like the obsession is with control.
Control, consistency.
Yeah.
And that's the way to get there. And then last interesting thing on the radar, not visually related, but speech to text. So sort of the kind of big model that had been powering a lot of the speech to text was Whisper, which was OpenAI's version of speech to text, which was pretty accurate. Now, ElevenLabs, which has been known for kind of the opposite of text to speech, they released their own speech to text model called Scribe. And they're saying that it has the highest, this is self-reported, but has the highest accuracy on benchmarks, outperforming previous state-of-the-art of the models, such as Gemini 2.0 and OpenAI Whisper version 3.
Okay. Hey, did ElevenLabs do the Brutalist? Is that right? The tool that the editor used for
it's Respeecher.
It was Respeecher, you sure?
We keep mixing this up.
Okay. I think I said it was Respeecher and then you said it was ElevenLabs.
That was for not the Brutalist. That was for the translation of the podcast
Lex
of
Friedman,
Lex Friedman.
Zelensky.
Yes.
So I saw the Brutalist finally.
Yes.
And I immediately, like when Adrian Brody was reading that letter.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It didn't sound like him.
Really?
Yeah. What did you think? You saw the movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
So
how tuned is your Hungarian? Are you a Hungarian?
No. It wasn't even anything like I'm tuned as a human to recognize other humans and their speech patterns. Adrian Gravel's delivery as Laszlo in the whole movie was very chill pace. Like he was never rushed to deliver a line. And he had a really gravelly, coarse voice that never really cleared up. You know, I think that was the reflection of his addiction and all of the bad lifestyle choices. And the letter reading was just it was too perfect. It wasn't that imperfection that Laszlo had. It was more like a robot reading the letter. That's what it seemed like to me.
Interesting. Okay, interesting.
That's my interpretation.
It didn't stand out to me at all.
Okay, well, go back and maybe... and also, I'll say when Adrian Brody's wife, I forget the name of the character, when she reads her letter, and then you meet Felicity Jones in the movie. I think the same issue there. Like it's 90% there, and I could see why the tool was used because the pronunciations were I was like, how do you pronounce Zofia? Right, like the name of
which is an issue with getting the Americans to pronounce it.
Yeah, even Adrian Brody's character had to correct that pronunciation in the movie. Right, and I was like, okay, I could see why it is used. Having said that, I mean, it's not his performance. That's my take.
Didn't stand out to me.
Okay.
But yeah, good. Do you think you would have known if you didn't know beforehand? Do you think you would have something would have stood out weird to you, or do you think this only stood out because we had an extensive conversation about this?
I think the minute, because the way the movie cuts is Adrian Brody stops talking and then the letter starts to kick in with like a narrative. Mm-hmm. So when that cut happened, his voice stopped and then the AI voice took over. You notice a little bit of a glitch right away. You're like, oh, wait, is that the same person? Yeah.
All right. I got to revisit this. Now I'm curious. But yeah, that was Respeecher. This was ElevenLabs, and the opposite.
I mean, having said that, like, we're judging the performance of this tech product at the highest level. Yeah. For the other 99.999% of the use cases, I'm sure it's fine. It's great.
For what it's like,
what it's intended to do,
and what the alternatives are, which is not a lot.
Yeah. If you have to dub a telenovela in 5 other languages in a course of 1 day, there's no other way to do it.
All right, so that's kind of our tool roundup. One last thing to end on. So there was speaking of, this was, I think, in direct result to the backlash on the Brutalist with AI. James Cameron came out and said that he would potentially open the next Avatar movie with a title card that says, quote, "No generative AI was used in the making of this movie," end quote. This just seems really silly.
It seems a little bit hypocritical. I know why he's probably doing it. I think he's doing it so it qualifies for an Oscar, because now the Academy's all over.
Potential new rule to that you would have to disclose. Yeah. It didn't even clarify if it would disqualify. It was just like, you may have to disclose.
I think he's just taking the safe road and just being like, nope, not me. Don't look here.
I think this goes back to my bigger point that I've talked about a bunch of, we just need more language around AI and more terminology, because AI is such a broad term. It's like, you're going to tell me that no machine learning was used in how you animate the waves, or how you figure out the movement of the waves, or whatever other surreal elements are in there that you
all of the mocap work, all the cleanup.
Yeah, you figure out the positioning. I know he did say generative AI, and it's like, okay, well, no one in the entire production process used
previs, no mood boards,
Midjourney for a mood board for some inspiration. I mean, maybe the only way they can say that is because how long have these movies been shot or in production?
Right, 10 years.
I think, the only reason is because it predated all these tools when they made these movies, and it wasn't an issue back then. And so you'd be like, yeah, it's done. The movie's done. We know we didn't use any AI because it didn't exist. Also, who's on the board of Stability AI now?
Mr. Cameron himself.
Yeah. So
and Stability AI is such a driving force of AI adoption in Hollywood, right? They have heavy hitters. They obviously have the Stable Diffusion products, video products.
Academy.
They're on,
Sci Tech Board, right?
Exactly.
That was the big
update
from a week ago.
No other company has the positioning that they have, being an AI company looking at Hollywood as Stability AI. I mean, they're based in LA.
Mm-hmm. That's just, I don't know. It's just maybe the Academy thing. It also just feels like after all the backlash, the Brutalist got for some AI stuff, and that it was just like, we didn't use any of that.
I mean, my guess is Avatar 2 and 3 will be qualified for visual effects Oscars. So you want to make sure you get those.
This is 2 already came out.
I'm sorry, 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah, I thought they were making 2 at the same time.
I don't know. I think they're making all. I only saw the first one.
All right, we'll go with Avatar 3.
I know the second one did come out.
I saw it. No, it was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the water was so freaking real, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did such a good job. And there's this controversial shot of one of the Na'vi characters where he ties a rope around his arm. It went viral on the internet for a couple of days, and people can't tell if it's like an actual person's arm painted blue or it's that good.
Yeah.
They nailed photorealism in that show.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope so. Without AI. All right. That's pretty much our show.
All right. Well, that was a good chat, Joey. Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully a couple tools on the radar. If we missed anything or anything that's been on your radar, you always just either shoot us a message or leave a comment. Spotify or YouTube. But show notes as always at denoisepodcast.com.
Yeah, we check the comments and the reviews, and please engage with us. Leave us your thoughts. We love to change the show a little bit based on what you want to hear. And of course, review on Spotify would be fantastic at this point. So please take a minute to do that. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you in the next episode.